when earliest intellect awakens in the telling, the oldest gods pass before the face, care nothing but for the moment of his passing. Even in death, the green claws, solicitous friends disarmed, launching the world against its own form. That was my 2009, what is it called, 9/11.
You wrote those poems before 9/11 or
After.
after?
My stroke was on the 9th, and I was in intensive care for about 5 or 6 days through 9/11, where everybody tried to keep me from knowing what was happening. And it was...
While you were in the hospital?
Yeah. Huh? I wrote all those in the hospital, yeah. Yeah, but like the first 2 days I couldn't write, but then when the eyeballs calmed down a bit, because they were just spinning like crazy. That was sort of the main effect, was this wild eyeballs. And also I guess today you would call it an aura, migraine aura. This oval shape with all these triangles and cuboids and boiling in my head that I thought I was looking into the place in my brain that was being damaged. And it was really frightening. It was like this, the kind of gesture that I tended to make in meditation practice that created this incredible intensification felt very dangerous and very scary. And I played the Agnus Dei from the B minor Mass in my head 7, calming it all down. That sort of changed it around, yeah. And I was doing Buddhist practice with the 9/11 phenomenon, so I had in my mind the towers of ecstasy and the missiles coming from the world, and what was happening to me and what was happening and what was going to happen, all were sort of contained in a single breath.
Get that from the texts.
Okay, well, the last thing I'm going to read, this takes a little while, maybe 20 minutes or so, maybe a little more. Well, should we break? No, we're not. No, okay. And there are 26 parts, so you can know where you are and where I am and what you have to be expecting. Yeah. You know, I think that I have this idea about poetry readings very often, that it's like somebody has their foot stepping on your foot, and if you actually finish reading the poem or finishing listening, they take the foot off. So I hope that's not what's happening here. But my ideal is that shouldn't happen.
I see.
There should be something happening in your head that's... So this is a kind of crazy scramble of a story that is already pretty crazily scrambled in the first 100 pages of the going translation of the complete Mahabharata, which is this enormous Indian epic, you know, and it takes a good 100 pages before you even begin to get into the issues of the story. And a lot of stuff is spelled out in this story about these two mythological series. One is the Garuda bird, and the other are the Nagas, the snake beings. And I think... Oh, okay. Okay. This is an Indian epic, and so I'm telling the story of the beginning of the Indian epic. And the conflict is between the Garuda bird and these Nagas, which are snake beings. And if you are familiar with contemporary presentation of Tibetan teaching, both the Nagas and Garuda has a role, and the Garuda has been transformed into this very definitely powerful healing bird. In the Mahabharata, it's very ambiguous what it is, and it has a connection to kind of mystical processes, but it isn't so simple. He's a character. The Garuda bird is a character, and the Nagas is this class of beings that are not necessarily bad. They're snakes, but they have a particular role. And there's one of the elements in the story is the creation of soma, which is the magical substance that is also the substance of the gods, and there are many people who think it's the mushroom Amanita muscaria. But in the Mahabharata, it's churned by a process called churning the Milky Ocean, and that's sort of the direction of the story is. And in Hatha Yoga, in the secret Hatha Yoga teachings, the churning is your tongue, which they cut the little thing under there, and the tongue goes back up into the space behind your navel capacities, and you massage the area basically at the brainstem to produce the magical substance in your body. So all of that is sort of playing around in here. I don't think there's anything more that you need to know to get what this poem is doing, which is a sort of poem. It's a prosy poem. Tales of the Garuda Bird, a Poet's Fragment. 1. The elixirs of immortality confuse even the gods. Who'll scoop it up in a skull and stash it somewhere? How much do you have to down to no effect? Insatiable thirst must be slaked by insatiable beverage. Its molecules are freak sentient moments bubbling into a caustic bath that wounds the palate, scorches the tongue, ravages the vocal apparatus, so that in exchange for immortal being, muteness scotches song. You are shut up in a tower of quiet idiocy, or keep on talking while the dragon drinks down the sun. 2. Garuda, though born from an egg in an instant, was big as the sky, a fiery bird poised to burn everything. The gods that already are want to stop it, want to stop the fiery bird, because they said the bird was fire and its flight would consume them all. Then everyone came out to praise the bird. It was a raucous age, if over now. Bird fly across time gap till the next times come. 3. Because everybody praised him, he was happy and damped the fiery atmosphere his own being ignited. I was the trigger point for destiny, but I am free, he said. 4. Someone piped up. It is my nature to be the rim of a jug. I sit on the brink. I died in the gap of a moment and came out the other side on the back of that fiery bird whose lunch is snakes. I think the moon said that. 5. Garuda wants to tell us about its coming into being, but whenever it opens its beak to sing or speak, 1,000 serpents vanish down its gullet. Someone has to teach the snakes to stay away from the fiery beak, the many-colored wings. 6. Then everybody came out to praise the god whose pulse is time, the daily sliver of the moon, and a fraction thereof, and a fraction of that. They cut it fine, and still they could not find the escape hatch where the precious batch of juice was stashed. Forever you are honored as fame itself, they said, and made oblations. It was an epic of vows and curses, curses and vows. Now snakes crave water, and when the sun beast blazes on the mountain, the snakes desiccate, so they cry with hisses and curses, snake songs and supplications, that black clouds accumulate in layers and bright rain come. And when it does, the snakes all sparkle with joy, their checkered skins twinkle and dance. 8. Fragrant woods with tranquil lakes, where snakes were happy cottage dwellers, as it were. Gentle breezes modulate the hot weather, blossoms rain from the boughs, a holy place. But the snakes, it turned out, were terrible cheaters and had access to all this loveliness and good fortune by a black ruse, so Garuda struck a deal to cheat them. His mother warned, but still don't swallow the Brahmins. Wind in your wings, moon on your back, fire in your head, sun overhead, go get the elixir to buy our release from the snakes, his mother said.